Hello, room 201. This is Mr. Sanders, in case you've forgotten. All right. So I'm contacting you on this video because we're going to have several instructional videos where we discuss the different steps to finish your cake project. If you haven't by now, by the time you're watching these videos, you should be able to go pick up your packet to begin your cake project. These videos will be on the YouTube page, Art for Dearborn. That's the page you can get these websites, and I'll put a link on your Google Classroom page, which you've already been invited to. All right, so today's video is going to be about storytelling. All right, so the first thing you have to do is you have to come up with a story idea, a concept, something to write your story about. Remember, we're writing children's stories, so it should be not only school appropriate, it should be appropriate for students from K through first grade. So or pre-K through first grade, because those are the classes that you're going to have to read your story to at the end of this project whenever we get back to school. So I need for you to focus on that when you're writing your story. Remember, our story has two things we have to add in our story. The first one is something you've discussed with Miss Herring already in her class, which is cause and effect. I'll share another link to a cause and effect video at the end of this video for you to watch on your own at your own leisure, at your own time, whenever you get ready to. All right. The other thing is empathy. Remember what we discussed in class with Mr. Nobody was we talked about what empathy was. I'll also share some links to empathy at the end of this video. And at the end of every video, there will be links for you to get additional support and help with the subject we're talking on, no matter what the subjects are. So far, we're going to talk about storytelling. We're going to talk about storyboarding. We're going to talk about drawing our images for each page. And we're also going to talk about how we shade in properly, proper technique for coloring. So, and I know several of you going coloring. Well, you're going to need that. That's why we're going to discuss it. All right. On one of the videos, I'm going to give you examples for some of the 5th grade students who actually completed the project before you. So you have an opportunity to look at those to look back on to help you finish yours. But today we're going to focus on storytelling. All right. So if you think about storytelling, what is the storytelling concept? What does the storyteller do? We have to have cause and effect for our story. So our story needs to have something that happens and the result was this, but we also need to include empathy. And as we discussed before, empathy is not whether you feel sympathy or sorry for somebody, but where you put yourself in their positions. So for instance, you have a student, I think one of you guys gave me this example actually in class. You had a student who saw another student fall down, and they remember a time when they fell down and how they felt when people were laughed and made fun of them. And so they had empathy for that student, and they went and helped that student get up. All right, that's putting yourself in their place and having empathy for them. So you went to help them correct it. Your story does not have to be pages and pages long. Actually, you're not going to be able to have a story that long. You're only going to have 10 sheets to draw your storybook on. I would say your story should be no more than a page long, a page and a half at the most. So you're going to be as precise as you can. Then we're going to move on to breaking your story down. That's what our second video is going to be about, how you break your story down. So I'm going to use an example from a previous 6th grader and how I felt they should have broke their story down, because you're going to have at the most 10 sheets to draw your story. So that means if you make a mistake and you need more paper, you're going to need white cardstock paper if that replace your paper. I'm going to provide you with 3 storyboarding sheets and 10 sheets of white cardstock to draw your story with, along with coloring pencils in your packet. And I'll try to post a new video every week while we're out of school. Once we get in school, we'll be in class where we'll be face to face. But I hope you all are staying safe. And for now, again, storytelling is you're telling a story, a children's story. It's using cause and effect and empathy. All right, so remember when you're telling your story, you're doing it for pre-K through first grade, so they may not be able to understand the huge words that you're using. So you write it so students their age can read it on their own. All right, so if you're using words that you have to look up yourself, those are probably not going to be appropriate for your story because the kindergarten to first grades don't have the same high vocabulary that you have, right? So some of them might, but most of them won't. So you need to write your story so that they can read it on their own. This is a children's book. It's not, you're writing it for pre-K through first grade. That's the level we're going to write it for. All right, if you have any questions, meet me on the Google chat. I set it up for you guys. You can come on any day between 3:15 and 4:15, and you can ask me questions directly, or you can email me through my email on the Google chat. My email is dlsanders, DLSANDERS 13@cps.edu. All right, but I'll make sure I place that at the end of the video too. And I'm also going to leave my Google Voice phone number so you can call me if you want to talk, ask questions that you need to hear if you don't understand my responses. Okay? Miss you guys. Hope you're being safe. Hope you and your family are good. All right, I'll talk to you later.